At 6, the latest on a bizarre accident along 580 and how a car flew onto the BART tracks with no one behind the wheel. Plus,
I didn't think something like this could happen, but I wasn't surprised.
Neighbors say last week's home explosion was the culmination of long-running problems with the construction project.
This has been going on for months, but now it's just impacted so much more.
How they're pressing local leaders for answers. And later, the electric vehicle market cratering across the country, what's ahead for the industry, and why one expert says California's goals were never realistic.
If that was your bar, then yeah, you were going to be disappointed.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Hi there, I'm Sarah Donchi. We begin tonight with a wild wreck that's creating huge headaches along 580. A car flew off of a tow truck across the gap, and then it landed on the BART tracks in Castro Valley. You can imagine the mess this caused. Our chopper was over the area earlier this afternoon. It's all part of a crash involving two other cars that officials say caused major injuries. About half an hour ago, the car was finally lifted off the tracks and then back onto the road. This is just east of Crow Canyon Road and Grove Way. Most lanes are back open, but traffic is backed up 4 miles. And just moments ago, BART service was partially restored between Castro Valley and the West Dublin Pleasanton station. Our Kara St. Cyr is at the Castro Valley BART station. She joins us live with how commuters are dealing with the impact of this crazy crash. Obviously, commuters are used to dealing with BART hangups here and there. This one was definitely different.
That's right. Now, that announcement just came back up that the trains are running again, even only partially, and a crowd of people just ran up these stairs. Now, some of these people have been waiting for hours to get back on the train because that delay, they had been here, some people waiting since 3 o'clock because they could not get through. Others trying to call Lyfts, Ubers, saying that the prices were going up as far as $130. We talked to one couple that had been stranded here since about 4 o'clock and finally running up those stairs to try to get home.
I have an Uber coming allegedly in 15 minutes, and it was about $130 to get from here, trying to get to my family in Danville. My husband said that his Uber price was about $120, $130 the whole time.
All right, so people are straggling, trying to get back up those stairs. We still have some people straggling in from outside, but they are relieved and happy to finally be going home. Back to you.
All right, Kara, I cannot imagine how angry somebody would be having to pay $130 for an Uber to get out of an already stressful commuting situation. Thank you for that update there from BART. Neighbors are demanding answers after that house explosion in Alameda County community. Construction crew hit a gas line there last week, causing the explosion. But neighbors say the entire construction project itself was causing problems long before the blast happened. Katie Nielsen has their story.
I mean, this has been going on for months, but now it's just impacted so much more.
Mike Morgan is a business owner along Llewellyn and says the county originally tore up the street a few years ago and added larger sidewalks and bike lanes. But after the project was finished, the area started flooding during storms. He says in some cases, nearby homes and businesses had a foot of water or more inside. The neighbors complained to the Board of Supervisors, so the county came back out and tore up the streets again to fix the drainage issues. And that's why the construction crews were digging in the area last week.
I mean, there's trenches in the street. I mean, unsafe walkways. It's overwhelming. And after what happened the other day, I mean, it's pretty traumatic.
Kathy Rodriguez lives only a few doors down from the site of the explosion and was also planning to open a cafe there, something she's had to put on hold for more than a year because of the flooding and construction.
Since December 2024, it's been a whole year, and I've been here like over 10 times.
She's the one that got the Llewellyn neighbors together to come speak today at the Alameda County Board of Supervisors meeting. One of her biggest complaints was the lack of communication when the crews hit the gas line last Thursday morning. She also wonders why no one was evacuated.
None of us were notified that there was a gas leak at 7:30 in the morning.
According to the Alameda County Fire Department, firefighters did respond to the scene at the time the gas line was punctured.
Our crew showed up 2 hours prior. We did not smell gas, detect gas, or see any reason for an emergency. So we waited to speak to PG&E, and PG&E said they can handle the situation.
Kathy says based on the way the project had been handled in the past, she and other residents were worried about how it was going, but says she never imagined it would come to this.
I didn't think something like this could happen, but I wasn't surprised.
The National Transportation Safety Board has taken over the investigation, and as part of that, they are going to be looking into who decided not to evacuate residents and why. The NTSB said they are not releasing any more information until their preliminary report is ready. That is expected sometime in the next 30 days.
All right, now we go to San Francisco, where 44 religious protesters were arrested outside of the ICE building. The group blocked the door by forming a human chain. While there were more protesters there today, only the people who were chained together were arrested. Their goal, they said, was to stop all immigration services and appointments, and their protest did shut the building down. Organizers tell us there were about 60 different faiths represented today, and they said they're standing with immigrants and protesting ICE policies.
We've been accompanying people that have had legal court cases in this building, and they don't come out. Our families are being abducted, mothers are being abducted from their children's, and it's not okay. And so as faith leaders, we're here to shut this ICE building down.
The DHS issued a statement calling the group rioters. Everyone who was arrested was cited and released. A lawyer from an immigration rights group was there to offer advice to the people who were waiting for their appointments. Okay, let's talk a little bit about our first alert weather. And after weeks of pretty much stagnant weather, we are finally in for a shakeup that actually finally includes rain. So let's bring in Paul Hagen to talk about that change a lot of people waiting for.
Yeah, this is not going to amount to a lot. This first wave of moisture is just the beginning of the rain chances. They're going to add up to a substantial amount as we head through the next 7 days. But we're just seeing clouds streaming through the skies over the Bay Area today. Still plenty of that fog in the Central Valley, but the same storm system bringing us the chance of showers is also going to help to scour that fog out of the Central Valley. They haven't seen the sun in weeks, so they're definitely welcoming that. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We'll just take you through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are seeing the amount of moisture staying well to our north for the initial hours of the night, but as we head through tomorrow, the pre-sunrise hours, the North Bay gets into the action, and then those showers drop north to south across the rest of the Bay Area. You see them kind of falling apart as they make that southward progress, so that's why this is going to be a system that doesn't bring a lot of rainfall to the entire Bay Area, but it's just the beginning of the rain chances as we head into the weekend and especially Christmas week. Pretty substantial amount of rain is going to be falling as we see a couple of atmospheric rivers headed our way. Details on that coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Paul, thank you so much. The hotly contested battle over whether Oakland should keep and expand its flock camera system is back in the spotlight just weeks after the city's Public Safety Committee rejected the deal. The issue is up for a vote at the city council meeting. Public comments are happening right now. Councilwoman Charlene Wang originally opposed the idea, but now she says that without the cameras, Oakland would become an outlier in the state.
Turning off this tool risks making Oakland the easiest place to commit crimes and escape accountability. We cannot afford to do work inefficiently, and so we have to work smarter.
Wang also said that new amendments were added that would block the sharing of data with federal agencies. Opponents aren't convinced still. They said there's no way to guarantee information won't go to the feds. A grand jury has indicted 3 Alameda County Sheriff's deputies for the in-custody death of an inmate at the Santa Rita jail. Back in 2021, Maurice Monk was arrested for disorderly conduct and failing to appear for a misdemeanor warrant. He was found dead in his cell on November 5th, 2021. Monk had been dead for at least 72 hours. Under former district attorney Pamela Price, 11 people had been charged in his death, but after a review, District Attorney Ursula Jones-Dixon dropped charges against 8 of the defendants. The remaining 3 face a charge of dependent elder abuse. One was also charged with falsification of an official indictment. Still ahead here at 6, electric car sales are going way down and major automakers are changing course. We'll meet an expert who says California never had a real chance at meeting its EV goals.
Maybe, more about a purity test than actually achieving that goal reasonably.
And later, why Ghirardelli Square was filled with picketing chocolate shop workers all day. The The Ford Motor Company says that it's scrapping its all-electric version of its popular F-150 pickup truck. Ford described it as a, quote, consumer-driven decision as the company lost billions trying to sell its electric cars. They're going to focus on a hybrid version instead. It comes at a pretty brutal time in the EV market. President Trump's so-called Big Beautiful Bill eliminated the federal tax credit on EVs. Take a look at the numbers. Since then, the EV market has cratered. Our John Ramos looks at the shift in the market and where experts see the industry going from here.
Ford's announcement is an acknowledgement that the EV market has changed. All the early adopters are already in, and now car manufacturers will begin focusing on what consumers actually want. At Walnut Creek Ford, there is a line of Ford F-150 Lightnings in the lot. There wouldn't have been in 2020 when they were selling like hotcakes. But that was then, and this is now.
It didn't make sense to keep plowing billions into products that we knew would not make money.
On Monday, Ford announced it was discontinuing production of the full-size EV pickup. CEO Jim Farley said sales had fallen off drastically for the all-electric version of its iconic truck line, which can cost from $50,000 to $80,000.
We saw this happening. We also saw the more expensive EVs, really suffer in the market, and the more affordable EVs to do better. And then the last couple months really was remarkable. The EV market in the U.S. went from 12% in the industry to only 5%.
Tom McLaughlin hosts a podcast called State of Charge. He says he owns a Lightning and loves it, but admits it has trouble towing. And he says he thought it was ridiculous that when Ford developed the truck, they predicted that by 2025, 45% of all American car sales would be EV.
And I don't know where they came up with that. That's bonkers. To think that by 2025, the whole country would be at nearly 50% electric vehicle adoption. If that was your bar, then yeah, you were going to be disappointed and sales were not going to be as good as you expected.
Ford says it will now focus on an extended range version of the truck, adding a gas generator that can recharge it like a plug-in hybrid, doubling its range from 350 to about 700 miles. It doesn't fit the original vision of California's dream to end the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035. But Professor Scott Mora at UC Berkeley says that was never a practical strategy in the first place.
If the goal is reduce air pollution and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, the purity test of it being a pure battery electric vehicle may be more about a purity test than actually achieving that goal reasonably.
But despite its failure, Mora hopes the legacy of the Ford Lightning will be to get people to view the electric car market in a more realistic way.
Yeah, I would like to think, and I view the F-150 Lightning as, I think a lot of things were learned.
California joined 15 other states in suing the Trump administration to get back money toward electric vehicle charging stations. The U.S. Transportation Department pulled about $180 million meant to repair existing EV chargers and build new charging facilities. Congress had approved the money in 2021 under President Biden. A big change on a busy stretch of I-80. New fast-track express lanes just went fully operational this morning in Solano County. The 18-mile stretch runs between Red Top Road and Fairfield all the way to the 505 interchange in Vacaville. Caltrans also says the best way to get through is with the fast-track toll tag. And if you use the lane without paying, you'll get the bill in your mail plus a $10 fine. Police in Salinas say they arrested a crew of Bay Area-based burglars who broke into a cannabis greenhouse. This happened around 3:30 yesterday morning. The Monterey County Sheriff's Office says they got a call about 10 burglars loading marijuana into 4 cars. Deputies found the 4 cars and tried to pull them over. 2 cars ran off the road. 1 crashed into a CHP vehicle, and the last one got away. Here is a look at some of the stolen goods. It's a lot of marijuana stuffed into that trunk. 8 adults, 1 juvenile were arrested. Police say all adults are from cities around the Bay Area. Coming up, forget a white Christmas. We could be in store for a wet Christmas. Paul is back with the full forecast. Please tell me there's some kind of scientific connection that rain makes the weather warmer somehow.
It actually is going to make the weather a little bit warmer.
It's been so cold. I know a lot of people who either can't run their heater, don't have a heater, and just a lot of homes in the Bay Area have been very cold.
Or just aren't well insulated, and people don't turn it up very high because they don't want the
bills, which
bill
are
to be over $1,000. Right. So things aren't going to be quite as chilly. And tonight, temperatures aren't going to be quite as cold because there's more clouds and there is a rain chance on the way. Let's get into the details here. We'll start with a statewide view. And this is the radar loop over the past 12 hours. So the bulk of the moisture has been streaming through far northern California, but eventually this is going to sag a little bit closer to us. It's going to take a few more hours for the showers to start to move into the North Bay, but rain is on the way as we head through tonight. Very light rain, but hey, it's the beginning of an unsettled pattern that's going to carry us through most of Christmas week. Here's a look at Futurecast, and we will take you through 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. Why are we stopping there? It's kind of the halfway point of the data that we have. And we're looking at the showers making their way into the North Bay largely after midnight. So the pre-sunrise hours, that best chance of rain is going to be concentrated over Sonoma and Napa counties, primarily a little bit sneaking down into Marin County. And then we'll wind the clock forward from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. And the rain makes its way steadily farther and farther south, including for the morning commute. But I don't think this is going to have a huge impact on morning traffic because the rain is going to be very light. It's going to be very brief, just not amounting to a whole lot, but it's enough to help to break that stagnant weather pattern that we were in for the past 3.5 weeks since before Thanksgiving. So how much are we talking about? What do we mean when we say that's not going to be a lot? Well, we're talking about less than 1/10 of an inch of rain for most locations until you go a little bit farther north. This forecast model tried to squeeze out 1/4 inch of rain for parts of the North Bay, maybe even a little bit more than that. That's probably the wettest case scenario, but hey, fingers crossed. It's been a while since we've had any measurable rainfall. We'll take whatever we can get. Farther to the south, the amounts are going to be more limited. Some places missing out entirely, especially in those rain-shadowed valleys. But again, it's just the storm system itself disrupting that stagnant weather pattern that's really going to be helping us out. And this is just the first of several rain chances headed our way. The next one moves in late Friday and continues through the weekend. That's going to be associated with an atmospheric river, especially Sunday and Monday. We look at the Weather Prediction Center's outlook for the next 7 days, and we're talking about a few inches of rain, 1 to 3 inches of rain on a widespread basis. There are other forecast models indicate close to 5 inches of rain adding up over the course of the next 5 days, and then even more just beyond the 7-day forecast in the forecast for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, next Wednesday and Thursday. The winds aren't going to be overly strong with this system moving through 10 to 15 mile an hour gusts, but it's enough to help to stir around the lowest levels of the atmosphere and at least briefly improve our air quality, although the stagnant air kind of returns Thursday and Friday before that next chance of showers moves in, and that will also help to improve our air quality as we head into the weekend. So tomorrow morning, maybe not the best dog walking time frame. Lainey here is adoptable from Lily's Legacy and Petaluma. Looks like she is on alert for the rain chances headed our way. It's nothing to be concerned about. We are going to see the skies clearing out during the afternoon, so that looks like the better time frame for our dog walk. I'll put up a link to Lainey's adoptable information right after this weathercast. Tomorrow's high temperatures are going to return to basically what's normal for this time of year, even those spots that have been chilly for the past several weeks east of the Oakland Hills and especially east of the Diablo Range. We're not seeing that blue on the map anymore, so a mix of upper 50s and low 60s across the entire Bay Area. Not a whole lot of variation tomorrow, and not a whole lot of variation in the 7-day forecast, which is why we only have to show you one of them, because everybody's going to be in the upper 50s and low 60s for the next 7 days. A dry day on Thursday, and then showers return late Friday. Showery Saturday. The wetter half of the weekend is going to be Sunday. The heaviest rainfall Sunday and Monday. Showers on Tuesday, and then rain and wind with a stronger atmospheric river looking more likely by the time we get into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day next Wednesday and Thursday. We'll keep you updated on all of that, Sarah.
Okay. All right. Well, I know we need the rain. Mm-hmm. We've got to plan for it. We need it to warm up, and we've got to make Christmas plans if we haven't already.
Yes. Might have been locked in for quite a while.
It might have been. Yeah, that's people who think ahead, not us. Yeah. Okay. When we come back, why some Ghirardelli workers walk the picket lines today outside of their iconic San Francisco shop. Plus, here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
Breaking news tonight, the son of Rob Reiner has been formally charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder.
The latest ahead on the CBS Evening News.
Now you can get your KPIX news, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.
In San Francisco, workers at Ghirardelli Square held an informational picket in front of the landmark chocolate and ice cream shop. It comes as workers say that the company is proposing to get rid of the union health care plan, something that the union is pushing back on. Workers say they're also looking for higher wages after management proposed an increase of only 25 cents.
Workers here per hour make less than the cost of a banana split. So we really need good wage increases here. The wages are a big issue. The health care is a really big issue for a lot of our members here as well. So there are ongoing negotiations, but the company has not been moving.
Tapia says demonstrations will continue if their demands aren't met. We did reach out to Ghirardelli about the negotiations and to ask some questions, but we haven't heard back yet. Our Food for Bay Area Families drive rolls on, and this week we're focusing on the wonderful work of the San Francisco Marin Food Bank. The food bank says it had to cut back on some programs after sweeping federal cuts to food services like SNAP, but the demand for their services is as high as ever. So right now, the SF Marin Food Bank is offering a triple match for any donations.
While normally every dollar raise allows us to provide 2 meals, now every dollar raise allows us to provide 6 healthy and nutritious meals to the 36,000 households we're serving each week.
And if you would like to support local food banks this holiday season, you can scan the QR code that you see on your screen right now, or you can go to kpix.com/give. And be sure to join us for our holiday special Stories of Hope, airing Christmas night at 7 p.m. right here on KPIX. You can see the inspiring stories behind the effort to feed families across the Bay Area. The CBS Evening News is next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back here in 30 minutes with CBS News Bay Area at 7.